Hello and welcome back to It's Always Day One podcast. In this week's episode, we are going to get into the important metrics which are often not talked about or even overlooked. And these metrics could be very useful if you are also looking to assess your advertising efforts' impact on the overall account performance. So let's start with the first one, which is funnel metrics. So we know that every shopper's shopping journey starts from the searches. So if we put that in a funnel, then it starts with the awareness phase where they don't know the product yet or even don't are not problem aware. And then when they're aware, the next stage is consideration. They are looking on Amazon for the different products. And finally the purchase stage when they have decided which product to go with. So each stage could be important. And at the same time, if your product ads are consistent across, it could have a big impact. So in order to assess this metric, you can actually look under the brand metrics tab. The brand metrics tabs now has a more funnel based layout, which is much more useful. So you can see the awareness, consideration, and purchase number of shoppers. And then you can also see now what is the value generated in the last 12 months. So total shoppers, it tells you which are the shoppers who considered your brand but did not purchase immediately. Uh, and we know that sometimes shoppers could purchase in a 2 weeks time, a month's time as well. And this value generated gives you that insight. So sometimes you might see a high ACOS on the advertising, even despite increasing number of clicks or impressions or page views. So this metric could help understand if that is making any impact.
So I
So
I
yeah,
think Himanshu, I know this funnel shows the importance of awareness campaigns. Many brands and advertisers, they don't prefer to run. They think that okay, so we can just directly run
yeah,
sponsored products, and they don't prefer spending money on the awareness campaigns. So
yeah,
I think the funnel is like really good example to the awareness is always required.
yeah,
You need to run a sponsored brands campaign, whether you are launching a new product or not, whether for the existing products also. So the
yeah.
awareness is one of the important thing.
And this dashboard also helps to A/B test. Like you can see what's your awareness like last week or last month, and then you
Yes.
can make some advertising changes, and then see how that is changing in the next month or in the next date range, basically.
Yes.
So we find this very useful. We look at it every time we are doing the advertising. So I think it's definitely an important metric to look at. Now, another thing is the customer benchmarking. I think that's also an important one because knowing the conversion is one thing, and then knowing how the other competitors or brands in the category are doing is another thing. So it also gives you an idea how much conversion could actually be improved in that particular category, and whether or not your conversion is above the category median, or it's similar to the category top, or it's way under. So it's a good kind of learning to know, like, whether you need to improve your conversion or it's already good. And then it's rather the audience or the searches which are low, or different scenarios. So I think it's also very helpful.
Yes.
Now, Amazon also provides more details when you look under the brand metrics, and one of those is brand searches and detail page views. And this is highly useful if you are looking to grow a brand, because the more and more customers are searching your brand, the more it shows that they are becoming aware. And then when they are also visiting the product detail page, then it means that they're also getting to a product page, which is an important metric, I think, when it comes to understanding how the brand is growing.
Yeah.
Now, talking about the brands, there's also something which is important, which is brand impression share. Basically, when customers are coming searching for your brand name, maybe you are running some external ads, or maybe recently they saw your sponsored ad on Amazon while just kind of looking for products. So it's important to know whether your ads are showing up on top, or it's the competitors. Yeah,
Yeah, and analyzing the impression share report, most of the sellers only look into the search term reports. They don't go towards the impression share. I think that is really important, and the looking at what keywords are getting how much impression share percentage. So that number and from that you can base your optimization based on that, and you can change many keywords and and the bids and everything. So all these are interconnected with each other.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. And we also know that, even if your product is ranking organically high, the ads could be showing much before that. Initial placements are now reserved for ads. If we talk about the banner ads or initial 4 or 5 listings, which are mostly sponsored most of the times.
Yes.
So this can be highly valuable. Now, the other extreme is the cannibalization, which we also talk about. Like if you're pushing your ads, if you are showing ads on your brand searches, shoppers are more likely gonna click on the ad and then purchase, when they were actually gonna go to your brand only and purchase. So there's some balance that needs to be there, so that your brand, when shoppers are searching for your brand, they don't get distracted by others.
Yeah.
The other metric that's also important is the add to carts. So we know that, like we were previously mentioning, that shoppers might not immediately purchase the product. They may simply add to cart and then later purchase it. If when you look at the add to carts, and if they are increasing, and eventually in 2 weeks time your purchases are also increasing, that somewhere suggests that those add to carts are converting now.
Exactly. Add to cart is a very positive metric. Okay. So this builds confidence. So I'll give you an example. In sponsored TV, when add to cart metrics were added, the brands are now spending more on sponsored TV. So they are giving us more
Yeah.
budgets to spend on sponsored TV, because they can see the add to carts is it's a very good metric, and they are giving for sponsored TV. Even they are giving the new to brand add to cart. What was that numbers?
Yeah, and the other side of it, which is also, I think, an important metric that Amazon introduced, is cart abandoners. So we have run brand tailored promotions, and we know how much that helps when we retarget the shoppers who abandoned the cart. So I think that's also an important one.
Exactly. And cart abandoners, and you can target them through the brand tailored promotion.
Yeah, and this metric is available under the brand analytics.
Yes.
The next metric now, which is subscribe and save, is also an important one if you are selling in a consumables category where you get repeat orders. With subscribe and save, Amazon has now a complete dashboard that shows basically how your subscribers are growing, what's your subscriber revenue like month over month or week over week. And then it also shows you an estimate of how much revenue you are getting on an average from subscribers versus non-subscribers. And we usually see that to be about 1 to 5, 1.5 to 2 times higher as well. So growing your subscriber numbers can be immensely valuable for your brand. There was a recent case. So I remember one case with a brand where, for some reason, their listing had been suspended, and they weren't showing, and they weren't able to show the new content. It was some old content that was showing up, due to which the conversion had been badly hit for those 1 or 2 weeks. But during this time, they still managed to get good revenue because their subscribers were still ordering from them, or the orders were still coming from subscribers. So it can be very good and helpful in growing your customer base, which again pays off in the long run when we consider the lifetime value as well.
Yes, yes, and I think that's why Amazon have added two new subscribe and save related
Yeah.
metrics inside the brand metrics, where new to brand customers, and you can see how it's growing and what's happening in that.
Yeah, yeah, that's right, which is also very useful. And as you talk about the new to brand, that's also an important metric. So usually, the new to brand metrics are only available for sponsored brands and display on the ad console, but Amazon has now added that to the brand analytics as well. So under brand analytics, it shows you overall new to brand customers, which is also an important metric if you have a good customer lifetime value or repeat purchases.
One more thing with this, I think the in the reporting side also, if you see few reports are all people ignore them, like for sponsored display,
Yeah,
purchase report and match target report is like really important for optimization of sponsored display. This
yeah,
gives you like clear direction where your ads are shown, and what was purchased. So I think it's really important to optimize based on these reports. And we have seen, like, once we started utilizing these reports, the sponsor display campaigns have improved.
yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right. And it also helps to just, build that. complete picture of how things are happening, what efforts are leading to what results. So, if you haven't been tracking these metrics for your brand, I think it's worthwhile including them in your next reports. And this will definitely help take more informed decisions.
Yes, and we will bring few more ignore metrics in our next podcast.
Yes, that's right. There are many more like this.